Well, it's one of the coldest mornings of the year, and you get into your car, a leased BMW you already pay for every month. You reach for the heated seat, and the screen asks you to pay again. Look closely at what's happening. You already pay every month just to use this car. The heating element is sitting under the seat, physically there in the car you're shivering in, and it's still switched off. Not because the hardware is missing, because the payment is. This isn't hypothetical. A few years ago, BMW tested exactly this in some markets. A monthly fee to unlock heated seats already built into the car. The backlash was loud, and they withdrew that particular offer. But the experiment had already proven something to everyone watching. The first payment doesn't have to be the end of the relationship. It can be the start of one. So you drive to work cold. You open your computer, and before you've done anything, the software wants money too. Renew. Upgrade. Unlock the tier you were using yesterday. The day is minutes old, and already the same thing has happened twice. You pay to use the car, and you pay to use the software on your computer. Yet neither payment necessarily includes everything you expected to use. Not big purchases, ordinary ones. The seat under you, the program you opened to start work. Somewhere in the last 20 years, the word buy quietly stopped meaning own. You know the exhaustion even if you've never named it. The charges accumulate. Prices drift upward $1 at a time. You forget half of what you're signed up for. Canceling takes longer than subscribing did. And when you finally stop paying, whatever you were paying for disappears. No object, nothing to keep, nothing to resell. That's the real weight of it. Years of payments, and at the end, you own nothing. So when did paying for something stop meaning it was yours? It wasn't always like this. The subscription wasn't built to lock you out of things you already had. Long before software, there was a version of this idea that did the opposite. It helped bring things into the world and then let people own them outright. We'll come back to that. First, why companies fell so hard for the version we have now. The logic is simple, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Sell a product once, and you take the payment and start over, chasing the next sale, the next customer, the next version. Sell access, and the money arrives every month on its own. You can raise the price gradually, add tiers, move a standard feature up into a premium plan. You never have to win the customer back because they never left, they're still paying. A company doesn't need to sell you its next product if it can keep charging you for the one already in your life. Put plainly, the company stops selling you objects and starts buying a small, steady claim on your future income, collected for as long as you let the relationship run. And notice how far this has spread. Paying every month for something that genuinely runs every month, a phone line, music, somewhere to store your files, makes obvious sense. But the same arrangement has crept into things people simply used to buy once. Software, tools, features, even the warmth of a seat. The underlying logic stayed the same. What it was applied to changed. It helps to separate three relationships that usually get blurred together. Financing spreads the cost of something you'll eventually own. Leasing gives you temporary use on terms you agree to upfront, and then you hand it back. A subscription gives you access only while the payments continue, stop, and the access stops with them. These aren't three steps everyone marched through in order. They're three different deals. But commerce has been drifting steadily from the first toward the last, away from owning and toward simply continuing to pay. Which brings us back to that older promise. Rewind almost exactly 300 years to London in 1715. Alexander Pope sets out to translate Homer's Iliad into English verse, an enormous, expensive, commercially risky undertaking published with the bookseller Bernard Lintot. To help finance it, readers were invited to commit money in advance, to subscribe, before the full work existed. Hundreds did, paying ahead across a series of volumes, and the finished edition printed their names in a list of subscribers. That money didn't unlock something being kept from them. It helped fund the work and lowered the risk of producing it on that scale. And when the volumes were done, the subscribers held physical books they owned, permanently. That's the version we've drifted away from. paying to help something exist and ending up owning it. Many of today's digital subscriptions run the other direction. They begin after a finished product or core tool already exists. And even when making another copy costs little, access ends the instant you stop paying. Same word, reversed. You can see that reversal most clearly in one company. For years, professional software like Adobe's was something you bought outright, an expensive license or a box on a shelf, and then it was yours to keep and use for as long as you wanted. Around 2012, that changed. Creative Cloud replaced the one-time purchase with a recurring subscription. For the fee, users got constant updates, cloud features, compatibility, and a far lower cost to get started. But the option to simply own the software faded. Professional files and workflows settled deeper into Adobe's ecosystem, and leaving became costly and disruptive. A finished product had turned into an ongoing relationship, and for Adobe, unpredictable one-time sales became steady, recurring revenue. Investors place a high value on predictable, recurring revenue, which is exactly why so many other companies have chased the same model. That pressure to hold on to subscribers can cut against the customer. US authorities challenged Adobe over how hard it made canceling and how clearly it disclosed its early termination fees. In 2026, a proposed resolution was announced. Civil penalties, customer relief, and required changes to those practices. Adobe denied any wrongdoing. Now the same pattern is multiplying through the newest layer of all, AI. These services do carry real, ongoing costs to run and improve. That part is genuine. But watch how the payments stack. You subscribe to an AI tool. Then you're asked to upgrade for higher limits, for a stronger model, for faster answers, deeper analysis, more context, one more feature. One company builds a model. Other companies build products on top of it. Those products open their own paid tiers. So the same underlying capability gets packaged and sold through layer after layer, sometimes adding real value, sometimes mainly adding another access tier. You've already paid, and there's still another wall, one step up. That's the real shift. Recurring payment has become the default way to sell not just a product, but every next level of it. Which raises the real question of this whole era. Are you still paying for a thing, or just for permission to reach the next one? And here's the difficulty hidden in all of it. An honest subscription and a manipulative one can look completely identical from the outside. Some recurring charges genuinely pay for something that keeps happening. New content, storage, security, real-time computing. Others exist mainly to wall off a finished feature, to erase the option of owning it, or to quietly keep collecting from people who've stopped paying attention. On the sign-up screen, you usually can't tell which is which. Step back, and the shape is clear. Companies moved from selling objects to selling access, from closing sales to maintaining relationships, from earning once to charging again and again. Ownership didn't disappear. You can still buy plenty of things outright and keep them. It simply became optional, wherever keeping you on the hook turned out to be worth more than ever letting you own. But the whole model has one weakness. It only works if you don't feel the payments. If someone knocked on your door every month and asked out loud for $15 in cash, you'd cancel most of it by spring. The payment itself had to disappear, not the charge, the feeling of the charge. The monthly decision had to become automatic, quiet, frictionless, easy to forget. Someone had to take the act of paying and make it vanish into a single painless gesture. And the tool that could finally do that already existed. It had been in your wallet the whole time.